Good evening. I'm Chris Ensing. Katarina's on assignment. Here's what's making news right now.
To those who were planning to travel, I say very clearly, now is not the time to travel. Traveling Canadians could contract the virus or get stranded abroad.
Take your stuff home and just kind of do a locker clean out and a desk clean out, bring it all home, and hopefully you can just bring it all back with you on January 3rd.
Cooking is a passion of mine, and it really is sad when I know that it's simply not affordable for so many in our community.
Thanks for joining us. It's feeling like deja vu. COVID-19 once again forcing people to rethink their holiday plans. The federal government says all Canadians should avoid non-essential travel outside the country, and provincial officials, they say you should avoid domestic travel too. It's the latest part of the effort to contain the new Omicron variant that's ripping through the population. Our Jacob Barker has been looking into how people are embracing the changes. Joins us now live. Jacob, we know a lot of folks here have family, loved ones in the States, and they're looking forward to seeing them this holiday break. What are you hearing after the latest news?
Yeah, well, Chris, there is a lot of frustration. And if you're looking for who's playing the Grinch in this year's Christmas story, well, yet again, it is the coronavirus. First, people here in the province were told to limit their gatherings to small ones. And now they're saying that if you don't have to travel, do not. And that goes for both international travel and domestic.
The situation abroad is already dire in many places, and it's going to get worse very quickly.
The federal government today threw some cold water on Canadians planning to travel outside of the country for the winter, advising Canadians not to unless absolutely necessary. Today it was an advisory, along with a message that more measures could be on the way.
In terms of arrival testing, we will continue to expand our capacity, as indicated, to test as many travelers as possible and as quickly as possible. We will have more to say on that in the very near future.
And while they haven't closed the border completely here in Windsor, just like last year, the guidance means making some very hard decisions.
I was planning to go to the States for the holidays, but probably not going to spend too much time there now. Yeah, probably just a briefer stay. Kind of bummed out, but it's not necessarily in my control. I can only do my part and try to, help my fellow countrymen.
I just took my children to see their grandfather in Detroit for the first time since March of 2020, last Saturday. And that was amazing. And we had plans over the break to spend some time together, but that is likely not going to happen now. So it's tough.
Travel agents say they are seeing cancellations and uncertainty with the new rules.
I have people who are wanting to cancel, and I cannot disagree with them. It is affecting, and it is killing the travel business more than it's already dead. So another kick.
Officials fear what's to come with the highly transmissible variant Omicron now spreading in communities. It's already here in Windsor-Essex. To help curb the spread, the federal government says it has 16 million doses of vaccine to distribute to the provinces and territories to expedite booster shots.
I am absolutely an advocate for as many people getting vaccinated as humanly possible. As difficult as all of this is, what's more difficult is the end result of what happens when people aren't vaccinated.
Now, in terms of the border, there have been no new rules introduced quite yet beyond the message to just stay home. But of course, that could change. And when it comes to domestic travel, well, that's being warned against as well. The head of Ontario's COVID-19 Science Advisory Table today saying that if you can avoid travel, avoid it. And if you're still able to cancel your trip, cancel it.
Thanks for this, Jacob. CBC's Jacob Barker live tonight. Now, starting Monday, anyone 18 and older in Ontario who is at least 3 months past their second dose date will be eligible to book a third COVID-19 vaccine shot. There's also more restrictions starting Monday, this time limiting capacity at large indoor events, sports, and concerts. All of this as concern grows over the new variant, which officials say is now spreading across the country. It's here in Windsor-Essex as well. Lorenda Redikoff has the details.
Walk-in vaccine clinics like this one can expand to everyone 18 and up as of Friday. It's the same for pharmacies. And people can go after a shorter interval, 3 months after their second dose. Here it's already busy with people 50 plus.
Before we even started, we had a lineup before the clinic opened. So far, we have done over 1,000 doses already, and it's only midday.
That rush is expected to get much busier.
We're going to make sure that every corner of this province, there's going to be someone there to give an Ontarian a booster shot.
The provincial vaccine portal will open up for expanded booking on Monday. Already this afternoon, it was down. The Premier is also encouraging people 50 plus who've already booked an appointment to switch to an earlier date.
We want to be able to be safe over the holidays and get back to a little bit of normalcy.
Well, it's very important because what's going on now in the whole world, the new virus, right? So you got to protect yourself.
Starting Saturday, capacity limits are coming to indoor venues that fit more than 1,000 people. They'll drop to 50% capacity, but restaurants and bars will not face limits.
Compared to a restaurant, that's comparing apples and bananas, as far as I'm concerned, not even apples and oranges. But, you know, they have strict protocols in these restaurants, and they've done an incredible job. They're spacing people out, and they're being masked unless you're eating. And there's a big difference between a restaurant and 20,000 people in an arena.
Vaccinations will also start at businesses. Bruce Power will be the first starting next week, with mobile vaccine clinics expanding.
We're going to ramp it up like they've never seen before.
These changes come as today new cases rose to 1,808, the highest since May 21st. According to the province's science table, 53% of cases are estimated to be caused by Omicron, with those cases doubling in 2.2 days. 81% of all eligible Ontarians 5 and up have 2 doses, though unvaccinated people still make up the highest number of people in hospital due to COVID-19 and also in the ICU. With Omicron taking hold in the province, could more restrictions be coming?
Let me tell you, everything's on the table. I wish I had a crystal ball to tell you where the cases will be in 2 weeks.
Lorenda Redekop, CBC News, Toronto.
Here in Windsor-Essex, those capacity limits at restaurants and bars remain at 50% as cases continue to surge. There's 50,000 people who are eligible for a vaccine who have yet to get their shots. Today, 96 new COVID cases, 636 people with an active case. There's 37 people in hospital. Also, another person in their 80s has died. Yesterday, we learned 3 people had died from the virus, including a woman who was in her 20s. The health unit wouldn't say if they were vaccinated or not, or if they had underlying health conditions to protect their privacy.
The privacy of individual people we serve is paramount. And unless it serves a compelling public health interest, we will do what we can to protect their interests. Also, the families in a smaller health district, especially in smaller areas, things that may not seem identifiable are readily identifiable. And the families of people who died, I think, have the right to privacy and the right to breathe privately.
As of late this afternoon, there were more than 100 active cases of COVID-19 spread across more than 60 schools in Windsor-Essex. Days before school is out for the holiday break, students are now being told to clear out their lockers in case they don't return in January. I had a chat with the chair of the English Public School Board about the move earlier today.
We know what this feels like. We were here last year, and so we just want to make sure that people are prepared for what might be coming. We know that we've heard a little bit from the province that they're meeting about things that may be going on. We know that Omicron is in our community, and we know that it's serious in the province of Ontario. So we just want to make sure that people are as prepared as they possibly can be. The intention is still to have students back with us in school on January 3rd, but in the event that they can't be for a small period of time, we want to make sure that they have all the comforts of the things that they're used to having, and want to make sure that they're prepared for online learning again if that happens to happen.
Is this something that's decided by the health unit, the provincial government, the board? Who makes the decision about what happens in January?
You know, there's plenty of decision makers in this, and I think they are listening to everybody. At this point, we're waiting for the ministry to make a call. the ministry has indicated that local numbers do matter. So we are looking kind of at all of our stakeholders and our decision makers. I think if there's an announcement that's going to be coming from the province, it will be as a result of the ministry.
As chair of the board, a parent yourself, how does this feel to go through this again?
I'll say it's frustrating. It's very difficult to be faced in the same position again, although I am very grateful that we have the experience that we had last time so that we can do things like just gently remind people that there are some things that we can prepare for just in case, where it's not as wild as it was last year and not as much of a hit to your soul that's already challenged right now. But it's difficult for students and it's difficult for families, and especially we're not in the same realm as we were before with flexibility for work and things like that, so I know it's a lot for parents. So we're just asking them to, if you've got questions, follow all the trusted advice. Look at our board website, look at the WECHU website. Make sure that you're getting trusted information, and as a parent, I really rely on that. Certainly as a chair, I really rely on that information going out appropriately and making sure that people are as safe as possible and can be as calm as possible, and that comes with really trusted information.
With food prices expected to spike across the country next year, Windsor nutritionist wants families to know that there's a way to still eat healthy without breaking the bank. CBC's Katerina Georgieva has more.
An extra $1,000. That's what the average family is looking at in grocery bills next year, according to a recent report.
The amount is shocking because I do know that our wages aren't increasing in the same way. And when it comes down to it, if you can't afford food, it doesn't matter all the skill you have in the world, you simply can't afford food.
This public health nutritionist has made it her mission to teach folks how to cook healthy at a low cost.
This video series is designed to help you get comfortable in the kitchen and learn some basic food skills in 5 minutes or less.
It's a cooking lesson more important than ever.
Cooking is a passion of mine, and it really is sad when I know that it's simply not affordable for so many in our community.
But there are ways to make do. Here are some tips.
Canned and frozen vegetables and fruit kind of get a flack sometime, but they are equally as healthy as fresh. And they tend to be cost effective, especially those that you can't find in the winter. Meat tends to be really expensive as well, and try incorporating a plant-based protein. It's just using beans and lentils a little bit more. They are very cheap, again, cost effective, easy to use, often in cans so that you can store them for a little bit longer, and you just incorporate them the same way that you would meat. You just replace them. So something like a chickpea actually has that hardiness of meat. So if you're looking at a stew or a curry, you really can just swap the meat for the chickpea, and you're gonna save a lot of money that way. I actually have a video about cutting down a whole chicken to breaking it apart, because often convenience is price. So when we get a package of chicken that's already broken down, we are paying so much more because somebody did the work for us. So if you learn how to do the work and you have the time to do so, it's gonna save you money.
Another tip, if veggies are on their way out, roast them instead of dumping them. This here, a meal for just $3.84. Roasted veggies, a fried egg on a bed of rice. A well-rounded meal at a low cost. For Belmore, cost of food is an income issue. She says it's important to advocate for the most vulnerable who are hard hit when prices go up.
Unless they make more money, they're still going to be in the same spot. So, really encouraging that advocacy as well so that we can have a community that can afford to eat.
Katerina Georgieva, CBC News, Windsor.
And we've got a video on our website with a cooking tutorial on how to make that low-cost meal for just $3.84. You can check that out on the website, cbc.ca/Windsor. The inflation rate held steady in Canada last month despite a spike in gasoline prices. Statistics Canada reports consumer inflation rose 4.7% in November, the same rate as in October. It's the 8th straight month inflation has exceeded the Bank of Canada's 2% target. Grocery prices, they rose nearly 5%, furniture up almost 9%, but some of that may be due to government tariffs. Fuel prices shot up nearly 44% in November. It's expected that spike will be blunted as oil prices fall due to travel restrictions brought on by the Omicron variant. Hundreds will be a little bit warmer this year thanks to the annual Keep Us Warm campaign. It's something the Windsor Islamic Association has been doing for the past 4 years, collecting coats, gloves, and hats for those who might need the most.
If you see an idea or an opportunity for good, don't wait, do it right away, and you'll be amazed at how many people join you and how big it can become. So the project is we collect donations from the community. We then source materials that's needed to different centers throughout Windsor. Today here we have the Welcome Shelter for Women, as well as the Francophone Community Center and the Francophone Center for Women. We've also been working with Street Help, the Downtown Mission, as well as Salvation Army. So we work with a lot of the different organizations here in the Windsor community that are helping and providing resources.
We've been partners with the Windsor Islamic Association for a few years now. And they've always been helpful. Like whenever there is a donation coming up, they would call us and say, do you have any clients that would be interested, and things like that. So we definitely appreciate the extra help they give us.
As a part of the organizing committee of this project, that's really what brings a lot of happiness in my heart, is just to be able to see and witness the reactions. And just a couple of weeks ago, we had somebody come here to the mosque, and they were an international student at University of Windsor. And unfortunately, no jacket, and it was quite cold and not as delightful as it is today. And he was just so happy, and every time he comes back, he's like, I got my jacket still. And so just to see that joy and that happiness, and knowing that your community supports you, your community is here for you. So if you are in need, to definitely reach out to the resources that are available, and there are many resources that are there to be able to provide support.
Certainly something that the people in Windsor do wonderfully, leaning on each other when there's a need and helping someone else when there's a little bit of excess. We take a look outside there, the Ambassador Bridge looking all shiny, and the water looking a little glassy. Colette Kennedy with the forecast next.
Hello, I'm Katerina Georgieva with CBC Windsor. 'Tis the season for giving, and that's where the Sounds of the Season comes in. It's CBC's annual charity drive for local food banks. For more information on how to give, visit cbc.ca/Windsor.
A few weeks ago, we told you about how Chatham-Kent is naming a dozen of its snow plows. It was votes from the public that helped decide the winners, and those names, well, they're out now. We compiled some of our favorites. One of mine has to be Anita Shovel. Gordy Plow is also, Colette's already laughing. We're not even halfway through this list.
I'm so easy. You got me at the first one.
They're so good. Sled Zeppelin.
Oh, come on.
Buzz Ice Clear. Furious George, School's Not Cancelled, Snowy One Kenobi. These are some solid ones there, Claire. I don't know, do you have a favorite? Is there one that takes you? This is like some high creative energy that Chatham-Kent really brought to the team here.
I didn't realize how clever they were going to be. Like, I didn't get that because, can I tell you, I thought one, remember Bodie McBoatface?
Bodie, yes.
So I thought there would be a Plowy McPlow or something like that.
No, Chatham-Kent doesn't mess around.
Somebody would do that. But anyway, no, those folks are more clever than I am.
Plowy McPlow.
And by the way, it's very nice to see your smiling face there, Chris. I think this is going to make a few folks smile. Probably not the winds that will accompany this system, but the temperatures. So our readings, they may still dip a little bit, like a degree or so, but the trend will be steady or coming up as we go towards tomorrow morning. And yes, you are seeing double digits there. You don't need to put your glasses on. That is really what's happening here. The wind gusts, I'm showing you those at the moment because they're not a big deal. I mean, they're a little bit gusty. It's that overnight tonight they're going to pick up towards 50 kilometers an hour, and then tomorrow we're going to see gusts 70 to 90 kilometers an hour. So for now, the wind warnings are where you see here in the lee of Lake Huron. We could see those wind warnings expanded to more of southwestern Ontario, but I will say we are in a special weather statement here, and that extends all the way into eastern Ontario. And by the way, today in eastern Ontario, if you have friends, family there, or perhaps you were traveling there, freezing rain through much of the day today, also associated with the warm front with this system. So yes, we had a little bit of wet weather. We actually get into this pocket through the overnight tonight where we see some partial clearing, so kind of becoming more like partly cloudy skies. And then the heavy rain is into northern Ontario, so it's still only some light showers coming in. So, I mean, I really have to, put the punctuation on the fact that we're going to see some strong winds, which can be damaging and dangerous, and that, yes, we have to watch out for that and watch out for some power outages if we get tree limbs down and that kind of thing. But I also want to mention that early in the day tomorrow, with the mild temperatures and without the rain showers, there'll probably be a little bit of that day you're going to be able to enjoy. Then colder air will move in. We'll kind of transition on Friday, and it is Saturday that we have a chance of seeing a little bit of light snowfall. So just want to leave you with a look at what those winds are really like and just how breezy they are going to be, and that they're going to stick around through the day tomorrow, Chris.
All right, thanks for this, Colette, and enjoy your holiday. I think you're running away from us for a little bit here, eh?
I might be running away just when you came back. What is this? 2 ships passing?
It's not
Bodie
coincidental, is it?
faces.
Bodie McBoatface. I love it. Happy holidays, Colette.
Same to you.
Poinsettias. Those are those beautiful flowers that pop up this time of year, but are they poisonous? We do a little bit of Q&A next. The price of a home in Canada has hit an all-time high as this year's market continues to defy past trends. The latest numbers from the Canadian Real Estate Association put the average price of a resale home at almost $721,000. That's up nearly 20% from a year ago. Now, the number of homes sold in November dipped slightly from a year ago. Total sales so far this year up significantly. More than 630,000 properties have changed hands. That's up 14% over the same period last year. Here in Windsor-Essex, last month, the average price of a home, $570,000, 36% higher than the same time last year. Now, along with Christmas trees and bright light displays, nothing says the holidays like a poinsettia. Their bright red star-shaped flowers are in full bloom this time of year, and tens of millions are sold worldwide. But how do you care for it best, and is it poisonous? CBC News turned to an expert to answer those questions.
Our most common question, will poinsettias kill me or my child or my pet? And the answer is no, they will not. That's a myth that goes back over 100 years ago. 1919, a little girl in the States died, and they attributed it to the poinsettia leaves. The reason for all the fear is this. It's this milky white sap. Okay, it has latex in it. All euphorbia, that's the family, have this kind of sap. It's a huge family. In some species, abrasive to the skin. In some species, it is very dangerous. Poinsettias are not. If you or your toddler or your pet eat a handful of leaves, they'll probably get nauseous and throw up. That's normal. But it would literally take a massive amount to make them sick. So, myth busted. What is dangerous, however? Holly berries, mistletoe berries. The berries are extremely dangerous on those plants. So if you have kids or pets, consider artificials if you're looking for those things in your decor. The most common problem people have with poinsettias is by watering them too much, otherwise known as loving them too much. They're from an arid region of Mexico, so you want to keep them definitely on the dry side in between watering. You don't have to fertilize them, that's all been done already. And you want to keep them away from cold drafts, away from the front door drafts, away from the heat register drafts, because that heat's going to go up and just desiccate the leaves. When you're choosing a poinsettia, pro tip, look in the middle, and you want those buds to be closed and preferably not very many open, and definitely not black. And it'll keep its color all through December, and you can just enjoy it right through Christmas.
And here's something else that you can enjoy, especially during the holidays. There's something that comes in a small package. What you're looking at there, that lovable little critter, is a baby Java mouse deer. It's born at the Warsaw Zoo about 2 weeks ago. You can kind of make it out on the screen there. Staff delighted to hear the pitter-patter of those tiny hooves. 4 inches tall, and when they reach adulthood, they weigh between 3 to 4.5 pounds. They look like dinosaurs. That's it for CBC Windsor News. Don't forget, for news anytime, you can go to our website, cbc.ca/Windsor. Thanks for watching.